What's up, guys? I wanted to talk about a new topic today. Hope y'all doing well. If you like this video, comment on it, like it, let me know. So today I kind of wanted to talk about Vince Staples, and you know how I talked about Schoolboy Q, talking about one of the greatest gangster rappers of this generation. I also think Vince Staples is in that conversation as well. And looking actually back on it, he's much more accomplished than I think people think. And the first thing I wanted to do is Stolen Youth. Of course, I love all the mixtapes before that and around that area, but I feel like Stolen Youth is like the most compelling Vince Staples mixtape. And the first thing is just as a rapper, outside of like his delivery, he's really great at painting a vivid picture of the life he's in, but I'm not necessarily talking about storytelling, but I'm more so talking about, hey guys, this is my life, and this is nothing of this is to glorify. There's no glitz or glamour to what's going on, and it's nothing to hype up. But I think one of the only things is that one of the only things I want to say is that Vince Staples has mastered the art of delivery as well, to me. He knows his cadences, like he knows when to do a punchline, when to not to do a punchline. He never dips too far into a certain type of, or relying on a certain type of rap, but also not, I guess, knowing what time, there's a time and place for certain songs, and like how to make said song as well. But the big thing I want to talk about is that from 2013 to 2015, I think he unironically has one of the greatest primes ever, specifically from the blog era. And what I'll say about this is that Hell Could Wait is a pretty ambitious EP, especially for like the kind of, I don't want to say like fully electronic sound, because it's not that, but like it's definitely not regular rap production he's rapping over. And for that to be like one of your biggest EPs, and honestly, that was my introduction to Vince Staples. Hell Can Wait, Blue Suede, Feeling the Love, just an incredible EP across the board. And then to come into basically your rap game, I want to say big debut, I guess, being at least in terms of albums, being Summertime 06 is really insane, because number one, a lot of art, I mean, like your debut album is, I'd say, it's your most important album ever. Like, it's kind of like, no, you could drop straight duds after that. Or like, I would say the two most important albums of an artist's career are their debut album and, of course, their sophomore album. After that, if you hit one or two, I don't want to even say their sophomore album too. I want to say just the debut, because that's your introduction to the world, and that's usually when rappers are most hungry. And you can eat off a great album for years. That's not opinion. That's a fact. Like, we see so much time in history. Like, you can eat off one great album for a long time. But Summertime 06 is like, outside of being a great debut album, it is unironically one of the best double albums ever. Like, for Vince, Vince doesn't even like drop into like a particular, he shows no signs of laziness on this album, but also he's giving you different type of songs the entire time, and also kind of following a storyline as well, in one swoop. So it's just kind of like, and of course the No ID production, I think it's No ID. It's either No ID or or DJ Dahi, I don't know. But all of that on this album, and then he kind of featuring his blog era contemporaries on here, like Joey Fast is on here, Kilo's on here, Earl kind of is Earl on the intro? I think Earl's on one of these intros. I could be tripping, man, but I don't know. But like the second song on the album being "Lift Me Up" is like the embodiment of what a rapper should be aiming to do. Like the second song of your album should be something that's hitting the listener in the mouth and be like, okay, I'm invested in this. There's nothing worse than albums that start late versus albums. I would much rather have an album that starts early versus an album that starts late in terms of keeping me pulled in, because nobody else gonna be listening by then. If you wait to the end of the album to start picking it up. You followed up "Lift Me Up" with North North, the big single, and also the big social media kind of the big social media hit as well. And of course a great video to go along with it too. That's one thing I think is underrated about Vince. He has great music videos. Like with what he did with Ramona Park, Broke My Heart, is just the videos for that were incredible to me, and like also compelling. But also Vince has figured out a way to make the music he wants, on top of it being commercially successful for commercials, of course. Because he was in an Acura commercial, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not entirely sure. But circling on back, like kind of if we talk about the middle stage of his career, I know how people feel about Prima Donna and Big Fish Theory, but we don't get those. Without those albums, we do not get the masterpieces from Ramona Park, Broke My Heart. We don't. And I think what people need to understand is like, y'all have to give artists time to grow. And like in the social media era, people are always complaining like, well, these new rappers ain't doing A, B, C, D, blah, 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 blah. These new rappers ain't doing all this. I mean, like, yeah, but at the same time, like, you have to give people time to grow. Like, for example, I say this, I quote this, when I'm going to use, this is just an example. When Sexy Red made Pound Town, there were so many people out there giving that song a bad rep. Like, they were like, man, this song's ass, where's rap gone? Blah, 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 blah. All that shit. Where's, like, rap his ass, blah, 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 blah. And then, literally, like, 3 weeks later, she came out with Ski, and everybody, like, loved it. And my question is, as a fan, are you okay? Well, not even just as a fan, like a consumer. Consumers want a great product without what it takes to. Consumers want a great product without understanding what it takes to make a great product. Like, I'll use this example. You don't get a good kid. You don't get a To Pimp a Butterfly without time. You don't get Blank Face LP without time. You don't get all these albums that y'all love and hold so dearly. You don't get a Channel Orange. You don't get a Blonde without time in development. Like, y'all, rap fans. Like, I ain't gonna say rap fans, like, cause, well, I'm not entirely sure, but like, streaming has made some people so greedy, and like, I see tweets like this all the time. They're like, why artists taking 4 to 5 years to drop an album? Y'all think y'all God? I'm like, nigga, who are you? I am sure our artist is fine not dropping that music not dropping that music just because some nigga on Twitter said they need to drop that music. But in short, that's the whole type of thing, man. Like, Vince Staples, like, he is, and of course I don't think Vince Staples, like, we seen this before, but like, Vince Staples' growth. Some of that. Mac Miller is the catalyst for a lot of that, and may he rest in peace. But other than that, man, that's all I got for today. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Y'all be easy.